It was a major hit at the Sundance Film Festival, and you'll get to see why now that 9 Days has hit theaters, brilliantly taking us through the journey of souls being born.
Do you have any questions?
Am I dead?
I wouldn't say you're alive or dead.
Are you the boss?
I would say a cog in the wheel.
That sounds intense.
How long is this process?
Hard to pinpoint exactly, but if you make it until the end, 9 days.
So I have 9 days.
Yes.
Or less.
Or less, she says. Okay, we have questions, and our next guest might have the answers. Please welcome actress, writer, producer, director, a woman of many talents, Miss Arianna Ortiz.
Good morning. Oh, I sound exhausted listening to it, everything I'm trying to do.
No, right? And I didn't even add the part that you're now my new boss because I'm your assistant. We made a deal.
That's right.
Ah.
Yeah, she pitched me some ideas, before we came on, and, we're going to move on those.
All right, boss lady. All right, I'm just your follower. Whatever you say, I do. But first of all, you have to talk to us about this movie, which is very philosophical, as many are calling. And I wanted to wait till I saw you to make sure it's not scary, because we know there's a test that may last 9 days or less. What is this test we're talking about?
Yeah, no, it's not scary. It's not scary. And the film gets categorized as sci-fi drama. And Edson, the writer-director, and Benedict Wong, we've been talking about how it's really more like a spiritual sci-fi film. It's more spy-fi. Benedict actually coined that phrase. But what it is that Winston Duke plays a man, and the whole entire film is set in this different realm that is not Earth necessarily. And he interviews, auditions, brand new souls for the opportunity to have an opportunity to live life on Earth. So
your character's Maria, right? I know she's seen as the romantic. How so?
Yeah, well, I think each of the candidates, that's what we're called, candidates, kind of represents an archetype that, very common to the human experience. And I think Maria is seen as romantic because she starts to really notice those things on Earth. Kissing, affection, those are the things that sort of pop out to her. But I see her as very, very ambitious, that she really wants this opportunity. She really wants to live, and she's kind of like a grade A student and works really hard to have her shot.
Oh, it sounds like, I'm like, are you describing you? She's really hardworking. She's really efficient. I was like, wait, who? Maria? Oh, Arianna.
Maria's she's a little type A.
All right, so you just mentioned working with Winston Duke. The cast, by the way, is amazing. Winston, we know from Black Panther and Us, and you mentioned that he plays Will, who's in charge of the souls. And someone was telling me that you were excited to work with him.
Winston's amazing. I mean, he's an incredible artist. And I mean, the entire cast is top notch. And I'm so honored and fortunate to be amongst them and to call them my friends now. We all really bonded in our little film bubble, shooting in Utah. But Winston is incredible, and I'll never forget working with him. He's a phenomenal artist. And I think personally what he and Sassy do, Sassy Beats, on screen together, especially their final scene, I've never seen anything like it in cinema. I think they make cinema history, so I really hope people go and see it.
I'm sure they will, especially now me and my loud town crying voice have told them they will go to see it, right? All right, so I like how you said, it's so funny how you said you're honored and happy to call him your friend. I'm honored and happy to call you my boss, because guess what? Aside from acting, you shine at other things, and we talked about the screenwriting and the storytelling. So what are you currently working on now, aside from our ideas that we came up with?
Yes, I will be working on those immediately after this interview. I have some script projects that are already out, and I'm right in the middle of finishing a screenplay for, I imagine it is an independent film, but who knows. I tend to write these sort of darkly comic, almost graphic novel type characters. Very different stuff from 9 Days, my own work, but I'm really excited about it. I'm originally from Texas, so I'm currently writing about the Texas that I know. Texas is, I think, often portrayed as dusty and filled with white men, and it's a far more complicated and hilarious place than I think it's often portrayed. So I'm excited to be working on that, and we'll hopefully sharing that with people someday.
All right, so here's the thing. I heard that when you first told your parents that you wanted to go into acting, that you got some mixed reactions, and that your dad even came up with a Shakespeare situation. What's that? Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, my father's very dramatic. Maybe that's where I get it. But when I was a very little girl, I decided that I wanted to be an actor. I started pretty young, growing up in Texas, which, you know, was certainly not the mecca for people to start a career. I was just a kid. But I decided pretty early that that's what I wanted to do. And my father was like, "You want to be an actor?" And he grabs this big I will never forget this. He grabbed this big Shakespeare, like the complete works of Shakespeare, and like slammed it on the table and said, "You go and memorize all of this.
And
then
did you?
You can be an actor." No.
But we're glad
but I did do a lot of Shakespeare, though. I did, and a lot in training. But so he wasn't wrong completely.
Mm-hmm. Because, you know, sometimes these parents know stuff, sometimes they don't. But in this case, he does know. And I know I recently just saw you on an episode of SWAT. I can't wait to see more of you on TV, big screen, and all of that, because it's such a pleasure to meet you. And I'll see you at work, at our office. But for now, everyone at home can get to check you out in 9 days. It is now in theaters nationwide. Boss Lady Arianna, such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's wonderful to have the chance to talk about this movie. I think it's a really special film.
Oh, it is special. You are special, and my job as your assistant is special. All right, nice to meet you. See you soon. At work, Betty Kirsten.